Hello and welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. The Stars find a way to lose up 3 goals in the final minute to the Vancouver Canucks by a final score of 6-5 in overtime in the most shocking ending to a hockey game I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers James and Ryan. Guys, are y'all still in shock or not?
Yup. I got my Alamo victory or death hat on, and I have literally taped paper over the victory or, and it just says death.
I feel like death. Agreed. Before Ryan loses his mind, we'll hit the super chats. Ryan Gardner said pain for $2, more pain for $5, and the most amount of pain for $10. That's 100% correct. Nate G says the 28-3 Falcons are laughing their butts off. Yeah, also correct. I mean, this is the most insane blown lead I've ever seen. Like I said, in hockey, but probably in sports for as late as it happened. I mean, it's unbelievable. Ryan, I'll let you talk now.
I don't think you want me to talk right now. So say something positive before I say something.
There's nothing positive. You can go for it.
Well, okay, that's not true. There was a lot positive. The first 2 periods for the Dallas Stars, they got back to Stars hockey, it felt like. And it hasn't happened since before the Avs and the Jets game early in March. That's how good the first 2 periods felt to me. And then the third period, it's right back to what they've been doing the past 3 weeks. And you get the goal by Bork, which was great. I mean, very timely, absolutely needed that. And it felt like, okay, we're going to get away with this anyway. We'll build off those first 2 periods and forget about this third one. And then, of course, it really felt like that when you score an empty net goal. And I'm just shocked. I am utterly befuddled as to how you blow that. And it's not even a DeSmith thing. It's a defense thing. I mean, all those goals, it was wide open in the slot for all 3. I mean, well, no, not the first one. The first one was wide open from the wall. I'm sorry. But the next 2 were wide open in the slot, and they were goals. So I don't know how you collapse that bad. Y'all don't either. Okay. Nate G said, what's Quenneville doing? So talking about Pete DeBoer being in the hot seat. Not sure if that would be the case or not, but after a game like this, there's nothing's off the table right now, I guess.
I mean, what are you really supposed to say? This is the worst stretch of games that the Stars have played in 3, maybe 4 years. They had 3 straight third period leads going in, and they lost all of them, and multiple of them late as well. I mean, the Pittsburgh one was the last 2 minutes. This one is a 3-goal lead in the last minute of the game, which has never happened before, ever.
I tried to look it up. Razor said it in the broadcast. It's never happened before in history that a team has been down 3 goals in the final minute and has won the game.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, I mean, the overtimes as well. You have chances in the last 2 overtimes too, and you can't win the overtimes either. So it's not just blowing the leads; it's also not being able to finish the game in overtime. So it's pretty terrible, honestly. There's not much to say about this. The first time this team has also lost 3 games in a row this season. Now that still doesn't break the 3 games lost in regulation because they lost 2 of them in overtime. But this is the first time they've lost 3 in a row this season at all, period. They've not lost 3 in a row this season. First time.
Yep. And they had only blown 2 third period leads the entirety of the season before
the last 3 games.
And they have not just doubled it, they've more than doubled it. It's utterly shocking. And I think Pete DeBoer honestly said it best in his post-game press conference. He was like, it really sucks because we were doing good stuff in the first 2 periods. And they were. They look like, hey, maybe the Stars are back, ramping up just in time to play that final measuring stick game against the Jets. And then you do the craziest thing that's maybe ever happened in regular season NHL hockey. It's wild. Ryan, do you want to talk yet? No, Ryan still doesn't want to talk. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, Ryan is here, by the way, guys. I'm not just talking to a wall. He's actually here. Want to talk.
He's still in disbelief,
He's in
as
shock.
all of us are, but the show must go on.
The show must go. Okay, he's still not talking. The other thing is Jamie Benn's interview after the game is pretty shocking. I mean, he does say it's unacceptable for that to happen at first, which of course that is 100% true. But then the question's asked what was so different about the third period that made y'all start playing like crap, pretty much. That's paraphrased, of course. And he said, I don't know, they were good. That is a horrible answer to give after a loss like that. To just say that they played good is not a good answer to any question. And I know he gave other answers and did say that's unacceptable. When you have a collapse like that, there should be no mention of the other team. It should be only about what you did wrong and what you can do better. So I really, really hated that answer from Jamie Benn, especially as the captain of the team who's supposed to lead them. That is not the correct answer for him to give there.
Yeah, it was, and I really think what it comes down to is just shock that they lost the game at all. Because it's so strange because the Canucks were downhill to start the period. They got those 2 power play goals, and then the Stars started to do a better job of weathering the storm. Some good goaltending from Casey DeSmith, and they finally they started to turn it. They had one shift in the offensive zone, and that's what inevitably led to just more and more pressure. And then Bork finally scores, and you're thinking, okay, this is probably over. And off the face-off, Canucks pull their goaltender to score again. Game's over, right? It's 5-2. I mean, the game's over. It should be over 9 times. No, 9 times out of 9 times it should be over. Yeah. It's just like it's an insane thing to ever happen. It's never happened before. It will probably never happen again. The only bright side you can take from this, if there is one, is maybe, I mean, you cannot get punched in the face harder than what just happened. You can't get worse. This is the worst thing.
It's literally never happened to anyone before.
Never anyone. It is a brand new move that you just got hit with. Right? So if anything's going to wake up this team, it's this. I'm not too confident that they're going to wake up because they had two previous games where they should have and didn't. But I mean, all cards on the table now, right? Like, and there's nothing else.
That's exactly true for this next game, too, because there's already going to be cards on the table. That's your measuring stick game before the playoffs start, is against the Jets. And now you just had this happen right before it. Now you're all cards on the table, for sure. I mean, it is utterly wild. But one more thing before we get off of this point. After Mikael Granlund scored his goal, Moneypuck has a live, odds of who's going to win. Moneypuck gave the Stars a 99.9% chance to win the game after Mikael Granlund's empty netter. Even after Aatu Ratti scores a goal to bring the Canucks within 2, it's still a 99.7% chance that the Stars win the game. Even after Pius Suter's first goal to bring it within 1, it is still a 98.9% chance that the Stars win the game. Until the last goal that ties it up. It's
overcame
wild.
all odds.
It's literally against all odds. Nate G keeps throwing money at us. I'll keep pulling up his thing. Pete DeBoer sat there scratching his head. He was literally scratching his head during the post-game press conference. I didn't love his answers, honestly, either. Post-game. I get what he's trying to do because
that's the biggest thing. Like, what do you say? There's nothing you could say. There's nothing you could do. You sucked in the last minute of the game. You basically had no one on the ice. Didn't matter. And then you lost in overtime. I don't know what you want.
I get where he was coming from in that press conference. Is like he wanted to still bring up the good first 2 periods, which were good. They were absolute. That was Dallas Stars hockey. If the Dallas Stars are playing like that, they can beat anybody. But the right response is to be angry in that situation, I think, which is something DeBoer does not do hardly ever, and it's something
To
he
the
should have done
media.
there. He should have
To the
been
media,
upset with
yeah.
his team.
I'm sure he is.
I mean, he's obviously upset with his
he's
team.
giving
He
it to
needs
them,
to vocalize it to everybody that he's upset with his team in that moment, in my opinion.
I agree. It's just not what he does.
Right. Ryan, do you have anything to say yet? Or do you just want to stay on the screen looking sad and shocked?
It works.
If I get started, I'm gonna go for 5, 6, 7 minutes, Chris.
Go for it.
Well, if you want to, you can. You sound pretty
we've
bad.
Made it.
But
we've made it
that's
10 minutes
okay.
in. You can have the rest.
I was trying to let you guys talk a little bit to try and make some sense of this, but here's the thing. There's nothing. You can't be mad.
I can.
No, this rage and anger are not the right word for this game here today, and the correct word is disappointment.
And death.
What a dad statement.
This is not a problem that is fixed by Miro Heiskanen. This problem is way deeper rooted than anything that we can even figure out. And the problem is the leadership. I'm sorry. It's the leadership, it's the coaching staff. They're not doing their job. This is a game that you look back on, and I'm sorry, the first thing I thought of, time to get the golf clubs ready. There's no way that this team right now, and they've been playing this way consistently for over a month, can win a 4-game series against any team that makes the Stanley Cup playoffs, including the Wild. And the Wild are the last team. There's nothing that anybody can say that will make this feel better. I mean, I don't even know why I went down there. There's no point. There's nothing that they're gonna say that's gonna make anything feel better. There's nothing that Pete DeBoer is gonna say that's gonna make me change my mind or anything. There is absolutely nothing they can say. This is on Jamie Benn. This is on the leaders of this team. Jamie Benn needs to figure something out. This is 100% squarely on his shoulders. This is not, and again, this is something that I talked about in the last episode of somebody who needs to stand up and needs to figure it out. And it shouldn't be, because this is the player that I thought about, Wyatt Johnston. Maybe it's time for him to step up and he needs to finally take his captain moment. And this is time for him to become the captain. And not in terms of the actual wearing the C on the ice, but I don't know what else to say. And it doesn't do me any good to sit here and yell and scream and berate the team. There's I have never in all of my years of watching hockey been disappointed in a game. I've been mad plenty of times. Plenty. I've never been disappointed like this. Like I'm not joking. Like this is like me being band director, teacher mode, and there's a kid who I stick my neck out for and tell other people, hey, this kid is doing really, really well. And in the past, he's like, you know, he's done something to get himself an ISS or out of school suspension. And then I build the kid up. He, I give him some free will or something. And then he just completely crashes everything that I did. And everything that I stood on to try and make other people realize how good of a kid he is just comes crashing down. There's no word other than disappointment tonight. Nothing. And I'm sorry. I don't care about I obviously cared about the rest of the game. It was fantastic. They played great. Guess what? Who cares? It's what the Stars fan base yells after every single goal that the other team scores. Who cares? If you lose the game, that's the thing that matters. That's the results-based thing. And we're 4 freaking games away from the playoffs. With 2 days away from playing the biggest game of the season. And you can't beat the freaking Minnesota Wild in overtime and you lose. The only time that it's ever happened in NHL history, a 3-goal lead in the last minute of the game. I'm disappointed. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely disappointing, but I don't think it's like for sure you're going to be golfing and all that. It's definitely not a good sign when your team is so weak mentally to lose 3 games in a row with a third period lead. Obviously, that is not a good thing at all. And you just have to hope that it's what James said. You got punched in the mouth and you can take that as a lesson learned and use that moving forward. But yeah, it's definitely not a good look.
But Chris, you're missing the entire point. They have been playing this way for over a month.
No,
winning.
that's not true because this game they played good. So
but it doesn't matter.
I would agree with you if this game they were playing the exact same way and then they blew the lead like they had the past 2 games. But the game was going different, and that's why Pete DeBoer doesn't come out screaming. I think he would if the Stars played this bad and then blew a lead like this. And he doesn't because he wants to hold on to that goodness that happened for the first time in 3 weeks. But it's just, I don't know. It's wild.
But what it really comes down to is there's 4 games left. No one really cares what you do in those 4 games. There's nothing you can do to redeem yourself right now. And you just got to hope that the team picks it up in playoffs, which is unlikely. But I mean, you just have to wait and see. Like, what are we meant to do? I mean, it's a terrible, awful, horrible game. The Stars have done that to many teams over the past month who've played good games and come out of them losing. But it's just, I mean, there's nothing to do.
Yeah. And to give you an example, the Avalanche, when they won the Cup, their last 7 games, they lost 5 of them. And they looked horrible. And then they went on and they won 16 and only lost 4 in the postseason. So you definitely can be bad at the end of the regular season and then go on and play good in the playoffs. The Stars, when they were in 2020, they played the 3-round robin games before that tournament actually happened, and they looked horrible in those 3-round robin games and lost all 3 of them. And then they went on that crazy run. So it absolutely can happen. It doesn't mean you're 100% golfing, but if you're trying to look at what's going to happen, I agree. I would not bet on Dallas after watching a game like this.
If you wanted to throw a random bet and get a stupid amount of money, you just choose the Stars to lose in the first round right now.
Right. You're right. If I was betting, you would bet for the Stars to lose. I would agree with that. All right. You got anything else, Ryan?
This team is just weak right now. Just mentally weak. There's really nothing else to say other than I cannot believe I just watched that dog crap on the ice.
It wasn't dog crap on the ice. It was absolutely a third period collapse, but the Stars played a very solid game before that. So that's not exactly correct.
They were starting to form a little diamond, and then the second half of it was a ball of poop that exploded and ruined the diamond.
Chris, what was the result of the game?
I know, but you can't say that the game was all crap because that's not correct.
Especially when we're complaining all this time where, their play's bad, They won the game, but their play's bad. And then you get to one like this where they played honestly pretty well and just third period, let it go.
That's what it is.
And they did get it back. I mean, they got their buds back in action, and they stopped playing after they got that empty netter. They thought the game was over, honestly. And that is some credit where you could be like, okay, that's pretty gutsy from Vancouver. But at the same time, you got to make sure you as a player are aware enough and be able to stay in the game when the game is still playing.
Right.
And the game is never over until the goal horn finally sounds at the end. It just isn't.
It was absolutely fantastic by the Canucks, I want to say. That's 100% true. What Ben said is correct. They did play awesome in that final minute. I don't know how they got all those goals. They were great plays. But you shouldn't say that as the captain of the Dallas Stars after a loss like that. But the other thing I wanted to get at is if we're going to complain about how the Stars were playing while they were on a 10-game point streak and say, well, the result doesn't matter, you were playing bad, and then come back here to this game, have them play good for the majority of the game, and then lose in the end, and we'll say, oh, well, it doesn't matter how you played the game, the result was bad. That's just inconsistent. So, yes, it shows that you lack maturity, I guess, as a team to be able to lock this kind of game down. But you can't just throw out what they did before this either.
It's crazy because they've of the last 13 games now, they've lost 5, but only one of those has been in regulation. So the last 13 games, they have points in 12 of them, and they look like garbage. And in this game, they started to look better, and it just exploded on them in the third period. It blew up in their face, and it's an accumulation of all the stuff that has gone on over the past month, and it just hit them all at once.
Right. So emotionally, yes, we should be pissed off about this. The Dallas Stars should be pissed off about this, and they should take it and use it and prove that it was a fluke, nothing burger against the Jets. If they don't do that, then I'm really worried. Then I might actually place a bet against the Dallas Stars round 1.
It would be
but
worth
if
it
they can come out and dominate the Jets, I really feel like that washes 95% of this away. You're going to have that doubt in the back of your head now trying to close out games for sure. But if you beat the Jets and you take it to them, I think it's going to do a world of good for the Dallas Stars.
There's just no hope that it's going to happen right now.
Right, exactly. Right now, it does feel pretty hopeless. Well, do we want to get into any other parts of the game? We didn't really even talk about the game, but I don't think we need to. Like, we talked it was good.
Here is an interesting part of the game. This is the second best and third best penalty kill in the league, and there were 5 power play goals. So
that was wild.
From the get-go, this game was completely upside down, and it just continued to be that way. That's my only tidbit, because that is notable. I mean, it's such a weird backwards stuff going on, and it just kept getting worse.
Yep. And we should mention in the overtime, we've talked about all this. The Dallas Stars lost. They blew it 100%. It's on the Stars. The officiating in the overtime was pretty unbelievable.
What was that
slash is the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life. Bro looked like Mason Marchman out there shaking his hand. And then Harley gets full on hooked and thrown to the ground before their game-winning goal, which was utterly wild. So, I mean, that just fueled the fire, really, though, that the Stars had already been raging by the time they got to the other overtime. But it's definitely worth mentioning because that was some of the worst officiating I've seen.
Yeah, they had lost before that happened.
Right. The game was, they had lost before that happened. 100% correct. But it's worth mentioning because, man, that officiating was awful. All right. I guess we're going to do biggest winner, biggest loser. So, James, who's your biggest winner?
The biggest winner is the power play. They scored 3 goals on 4 chances. That's really good. And really, that they were the only thing that beat Demko for most of the game, who historically just does not get beat by Dallas Stars shooters.
Yep. I'm going to say it's the Stars' first line, and specifically their forecheck. It looks so much better tonight. I mean, they were plowing into the Canucks zone, getting the puck back. They were dangerous all night long. They could have scored a ton of goals here tonight. And obviously we could have used a 4-goal lead rather than the 3-goal lead. Ryan, I'm gonna make you give a biggest winner. I'm forcing you.
That's your punishment.
It's not happening. No biggest
No,
winner for me
that's
tonight.
your punishment. You have to give it to
You have
someone.
to. It's your penance.
The power play for the Vancouver Canucks.
There you go. That counts. Okay. James,
Or
biggest
6 on
loser.
5. How about that?
The biggest loser is it's the penalty kill as a whole. Everyone's penalty kill. How are these the two of the best penalty kills in the entire league? And there's literally 5 power play goals in the game. That was insane. Weird anomalies keep happening in Stars games. It's at this point, it's not a coincidence that they're happening, but they are still weird and statistically awkward.
Yeah, and my biggest loser is going to be the final minute of the game and the Stars' inability to lock down a lead, I guess, all of a sudden. It's just so wild that it hasn't happened, that we've been so good at it all season until now, and it's happened all at once. And at the worst time, too. Really scary. Ryan, biggest loser?
Jamie Benn, the leadership group, and Pete DeBoer for not being able to figure out what the issue is.
Yep. Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any other sad points to make before we end, then I'll close it out, I guess.
Just my hat that says death.
Yeah, death. New hat coming to sarcasticremarks.com is just death. Yeah, that's for sure a real thing. Thanks to DraftKings, I guess. Use promo code THPN. You get free goodies from them. Lets them know that we sent you there. They got a new Pick 6 thing. You can do that within Texas now. So be sure to check out DraftKings. Check out sarcasticremarks.com. You can join the Who Cares Club there. You can check out our actual store that you can get t-shirt with our logo on it, which is pretty sweet. Be sure to check out the Discord. We did a little watch along there for WCC members, which was a ton of fun. So be sure to join the Discord. Lots of free stuff on the Discord as well. We got a huge community of people there talking all the time, and it was rolling at the end of this game. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and we're going to be with y'all again tomorrow night, I believe. So that's going to be an extra fun hour for y'all. A little bit of therapy. Thank you guys for listening to us, and hopefully you feel a little bit better after this one, and you'll hear from us again pretty soon.